Welcome to Music Over Matter. This week in Music Over Matter videos is the Weeknd Hype Week. This weekend, we're getting an album. So if you're watching this on the day it comes out, which is Wednesday, by Friday, there'll be a reaction, obviously. Anyways, today we are ranking a top 10 of our personal favorite Weeknd features within hip hop and rap, because this is a hip hop rap channel. And even though the Weeknd does make pop music now, I guess technically, he definitely started by completely redoing R&B, completely reinventing it basically, and he still is heavily involved in hip hop and rap projects. We made a top 10 list of our favorite features. With that said, we are ranking the features themselves, not the song, even though the better Weeknd features make better songs, just naturally.
Yeah.
Now that we got that out of the way, let's begin.
Starting off this list at number 10, we have FML by Kanye. We're talking about length of Weeknd parts on features, but FML is actually just the hook. But he has such an amazing hook.
In our list, there's a relationship between length and quality. You have to factor in both. In this case, FML is probably some of the best singing the Weeknd has ever done on a feature, but it's just the hook, so it has to be ranked lower. Mixed with Kanye's production, of course, just the way that song develops, dude, you get chills every single time you hear that hook. It's unbelievable. Coming in at number 9 is Creepin'. We've Creepin' at number 9 for a few reasons. When you first listen to Creepin', I remember listening to that album for the first time. Heroes and Villains' first listening experience was absolutely incredible. If you were listening to it in order, you get to that Weeknd song, number 1 trending immediately.
Yeah.
Because just the interpolation was phenomenal of I Don't Want to Know, is that the song name? By Mario Winans, however you pronounce his last name, I forget. Yeah, just that interpolation, the Weeknd singing is so powerful.
Creepin' is a song as a whole I don't like that much, but if we're just talking about the Weeknd, yeah, his singing's really good, but it just doesn't come in comparison to some of the other ones that we have on the list.
Creepin' is meant to be like this more accessible song. What the Weeknd's talking about is like very basic, you know, like that sort of thing. Some of the other features we have later on are like actually phenomenally written.
At number 8, we have Coming Out Strong by Future. On this song, I don't have too strong of opinions on it. The Weeknd's verse, nothing really stands out too much. There's no like incredible bars or incredible singing. It's just a good sounding Weeknd verse.
I think it's important to realize as well, we're saying this is number 8 of the best Weeknd features. The Weeknd has like 40 features on rap songs. So this is still a top tier feature. It just doesn't stack up to the ones on later on the list. I think the Weeknd feature does its job. It's somber, it's catchy, like it's one of the most recognizable, I would say. I think most people have heard Coming Out Strong and they know that hook. The Weeknd is capable of a lot. Yeah, this hook was not meant to be like grand or anything. It's meant to be somber because that's what Hendrix is as an album. Coming up next is a song that maybe people haven't heard, but this is Pullin' Up by Meek Mill. Right there is what I was just talking about, where what the Weeknd is capable of. You know, like Pullin' Up is not only phenomenal, but he has a full verse and hooks. So on this song, for example, he has like 50% of the song.
I love his singing on here, how his tone is high on it. And then of course that little part of his verse where he's singing and harmonizing with himself right before the hook. And then when the hook comes in, it's like hard as hell. The hook is super catchy.
I think the Weeknd's contribution here is actually bonkers. It's so good. The only issue I have with it, I don't know if issue is the right word. It's not. But you can tell this was made in 2015. He sounds like Beauty Behind the Madness. This hook was probably made for a song of his, and he ended up not using it or something. But yeah, phenomenal feature output there.
At number 6, we have Pray For Me. This has to be one of the best movie soundtrack songs ever.
Yeah.
This is one of his best performances on a verse and a hook ever, I feel like, too.
Yeah. 100%.
It's just that since it's a movie soundtrack, he's not talking about much.
His performance, unbelievable, super catchy. I'm sure like 90% of the American population knows the words to that hook.
Yeah.
And it's just the way his flow changes, more melodic rapping, I'd say, and then the hook is singing. Mm-hmm. And I have an affinity for when the Weeknd is rapping on hooks. You'll see that coming up here. Like, from my personal opinion, when the Weeknd is more of that rapper on a feature, it's just fire, because it's like a complete contrast to his music that he makes now. Mm-hmm. So now we're getting into the top 5. These are the big boys. These are the absolute goated Weeknd features. Mm-hmm. Coming in at number 5, we have Unfazed by Lil Uzi. They're just trying to get reactions from me. Whoa, I'm unfazed. This is the Weeknd rapping. He has the hook and he has a phenomenal verse. This is probably top 2 on personal favorite Weeknd contributions to a song. Mm-hmm. But like, this is more taking into account a lot of different things. I love this song. The repetition of the hook on here, like, sometimes repetition isn't good, but on this one I believe it is. Even though it's the same word over and over again, he's switching up how he says it every single time. Fair enough. And I also think that leans into I'm unfazed, kind of, you know. But also, just going off of that, the verse, his flow on his verse is just phenomenal. This is where it comes in a little bit, where we've mentioned, like, this verse seems more personal than, say, like a Pray For Me verse. And more than anything, it's the way his verse ends. What we just played when we were listening there, they get reactions from me. Whoa. And then the hook, oh my God. Yeah. At number 4, we have Hurricane. The Weeknd's contribution on this song just brings it all together. Absolutely. Of course, there's so many different versions of this song throughout the years. After the Weeknd got brought in, I think it's just the glue of the entire song. I love his performance on it. Yeah, yay cooked, bringing in the Weeknd. Every time I listen to that hook, I still get chills. Every time I hear that hook, I envision the freaking listening party I was watching when I first heard it. Yeah. Everything about that hook is phenomenal. It's just peak performance. The singing is his best singing on a feature, without a doubt. And the delivery of that last bar with like the choir, the organ, like, yay cooked. This is one of his best performances across anything he's made, for real. Maybe besides like Call Out My Name is an insane singing performance, but like Hurricane is definitely up there. Yeah. We are now into the top 3, which most people can probably guess what 3. I think most people probably have the same 3. It just might be a different order. But coming in at our number 3 is Pray For Love by Travis. These niggas fiends watching all of my moves, cause the music like crack got me cooking all day. I mean, this is pretty self-evident why this one is top 3. I think what I love so much about this hook and verse is it is so raw. And I think at the time, this was probably his most deep verse. He went deep, but didn't get personal, if that makes sense. Like Kissland, for example, is, I would say, or House of Balloons is a personal album, but he doesn't go too personal. It's more just like talking about what's going on with him and like with deeper themes, you know? Yeah, his performance on the hook, amazing. And I love his verse, how it cuts everything at first and just plays pianos. Yeah, because it just makes his voice stand out and like resonate more. That hook is a great example of what makes the Weeknd just phenomenal. Is he's just saying don't pray for love, but with his humming, with his singing, he covers like 7 seconds with one line. And it's just atmosphere. That's what makes the Weeknd right there. And then the verse is the rapping, the melodic rap, and it's just a perfect combination. At number 2, we have Crew Love by Drake. When the Weeknd said that Drake took half of his album, this is a Weeknd song, 100%. Well, I think it's like, there's a leaked version of Crew Love before Drake even got on it. Oh, yeah, his performance on here, the message, just how spacey it is. And again, just like Pray For Love, this one's even more raw. It is truly early Weeknd. There's something super different and special about how dark the Weeknd used to be. Actually, like haunted stripper music type shit, you know, like that stupid tweet that goes viral once every like 4 months or something. And like when you listen to it, this is art, bro. You know,
Yeah.
like it's something like that. I don't know how he plays the beat, how he goes around it, just the overall atmosphere of the song. And coming in at number 1, we have Low Life. Overstepping is this overestimating a top 25 rap song.
Jeez.
Low Life is definitely up there. Yeah, absolutely incredible. It's the perfect combination for what I like I've mentioned, singing on the hook and a phenomenal verse.
Yeah, just based off that first line, you knew it was going to be amazing.
Oh yeah. There's no doubt. Like,
The Weeknd is able to just match the vibe of a beat like perfectly
absolutely.
almost all the time.
Yeah.
His dead delivery goes perfectly with the beat, and then of course Future has that same delivery. So
Yeah, I think that's what really like sets great artists apart from good ones, is when they are able to change their style, still have their stuff, but be able to change their style to the type of song. Like The Weeknd on Low Life, completely different than The Weeknd on Unfazed, completely different than The Weeknd on Pray For Me, but you still know it's The Weeknd because he has his certain specialities. Let us know in the comments what your ranking of Weeknd features are. I don't think there's much debate for Low Life number 1, but I could see like some of the ones lower than that being swapped around for sure. If you did enjoy, be sure to subscribe and leave a like, and we'll see you in the next video.